What's up, guys? Welcome back to another conference tournament picks video. Right now I have the Pac-12 tournament predictions coming up for you here. It is just about 1 a.m. on Monday, March 7th, so getting to this a little bit late today. I was meant to record it earlier today, but I'm so tired after recording the A10 video. I mean, I was literally this close to crashing, but I'm going to do this video and then we're going to pick up tomorrow with the AAC tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to record the AAC, the SEC, Mountain West, and might do the Big East as well. So I might do 4 videos tomorrow, just like I'm doing. Of course, I'm doing 3 today. Technically, I'm doing 5 today, actually. So without further ado, let's get into the teams that made, or the teams that are, of course, seeded in the Pac-12 for this tournament. We have Arizona as the 1 seed. Arizona this year, I didn't think they were going to be the top seed. I will say, though, I was thinking they were going to be a top 4 team, but Tommy Lloyd has done an incredible job. I will say, though, I've had my fair share of concerns for this team. One is that they haven't had a whole lot of major tests this year. That sounds kind of funny because they faced UCLA twice, USC at least once. They faced Oregon. I'm talking about teams that are ranked like top 10, top 15. They faced Illinois at Illinois when they were not healthy. They blew out Michigan when Michigan wasn't even collectively together. Also, too, Arizona's guard play, if they don't show up, they're a freaking disaster almost. But Arizona has one of the biggest teams in the country. I love their size. Tubelis, Ballo, and Koloko really make this team extraordinarily big. But again, Mathurin and Chris have to step up. I do have some concerns though for this team, but they're very capable of doing some damage. 2 seed UCLA. UCLA just got Johnny Juzang back. He was missing for some games. Juzang helped UCLA propel ahead of USC in a revenge game this past Saturday, 75-68. UCLA lost to USC back on Valentine's Day weekend. UCLA this year has not been impressive at times. They have been inconsistent too. A COVID pause really killed them, and they really struggled for a while there. They lost Arizona State triple overtime. Before that, they lost to Gonzaga. I mean, I don't know, man. This has been a weird team this year, but we'll see what happens. I like a healthy UCLA team. I don't know if they're Final Four material, though. We'll see. 3 USC. Speaking of USC, I think this is the worst 3 seed in any conference tournament of any of these videos I'm doing. I don't care for USC. I mean, this is a team that has been lucky to win some games this year. Like, they almost lost to Pacific for starters. They've almost lost to some really bad teams this year. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. But they also have a couple decent wins. They knocked off UCLA. They beat Oregon twice, actually. So USC does have a couple good. Then the crazy thing is, too, they've been ranked all freaking year, which is beyond me because, again, USC, I think, are phonies. They can take their overrated ass Trojans in my face. Forced Colorado. I don't know what to think of the Colorado Buffaloes. Really strange to think about them this year because they do own some interesting wins. They beat Oregon, but they lost to Oregon at their own home court. It's the first time Oregon ever beat Colorado in Colorado, which is interesting. I'm not really too big on Colorado. I'm even less impressed by them this year than I was last year. Last year I wasn't too high on them, although I did take them to the Pac-12 final. I did get that correct, and yeah, that was pretty interesting though. If you saw that last year. Speaking of Oregon, 5 Oregon. Oh God, this team at times has looked like roadkill. Oregon got absolutely bombed by BYU earlier in the season. They almost beat Baylor. Then they finally started to catch up. They knocked off UCLA twice. That was very important, but they also failed to get some wins against USC. and they had a very big fail in trying to beat Arizona. That would have, I think, sold them for the tournament. If Oregon would have beat Arizona a couple of weeks ago, I think Oregon actually would be pretty close to making the tournament. They probably would be actually in the last four in as we speak. They lost by 3. Oregon's been playing a lot tougher, although they got bitch slapped by Washington State on national television Saturday. I remember watching that game. More on that in just a minute. 6 is Washington. They were on a winning streak there towards the end of the season. I'm not too big on this team, although they got a couple of guys that do score a bit. They shoot, their three-point shooting's trash. 7's Washington State. Now, if you're looking for a low seed to get to the Pac-12 final, I think it's this team right here. Washington State, I know they don't have many impressive wins this season, but Washington State's actually a pretty dangerous team if they play their game just right. They can play some decent offense. When it's going their way, they can play some pretty good offense. They lost to South Dakota State. That was not a great win for their favor. That kind of killed them a little. Although South Dakota State's a pretty good team. They had a chance to knock off USC twice. Failed both times in close games. Washington State couldn't quite beat UCLA. I don't know if they beat Oregon. I think they lost to Oregon too. No, sorry, I just said it. They whipped their ass on Saturday. Like, their defense statistically is top 10, I think, either in the country or I don't know, but their defense basically is like pretty good. It's actually really good. And I think with the combination they play their offense efficiently enough, Washington State might be the one low seed in this that could make a deep run in the Pac-12. Oregon can't too. I forgot to mention that. I've been forgetting to mention the low seeds that can make a run. But those are the 2, in my opinion. 8's Arizona State. Again, they got that big win over UCLA, but they're terrible still. 9 Stanford, 10 Cal, 11 Utah. Utah flat sucks. Although they almost beat Washington twice. Oregon State. Then you got the piss poor Oregon State Beavers, more like roadkill State Beavers. Oh my lord, they're like 3-27. Remember they went on a Cinderella run last year and they made the Elite 8 as a 12 seed. And they're a 3-27 team. Can't make this stuff up. All right, first round picks. Arizona State versus Stanford. I'm going to go Arizona State. I don't have much to say there. 5 Oregon, 12 Oregon State. Oregon State almost beat Oregon in one of their matchups, but I think Oregon's going to catch on. Dana Altman. Oregon, another thing too about Oregon, in the years I've watched them since 2016, because I really started getting into this stuff in 2016, when the March Madness tournament started happening around then, or when I started to get to the tournament by then, that year. Oregon has actually been almost practically elite in March. Like, they always do pretty well, especially when it comes to the main tournament itself. So you can never really count Oregon out. 7 Washington State, 10 Cal. Cal does have a good player on their team, but Washington State, I wouldn't sleep on them, man. They got a pretty decent team. Again, I wish they had more convincing wins over good teams. Or should I say, I wish they had more resume-building wins, because they don't. That's what they're lacking. They would be much higher seeded if they had that. And I'm going to go Washington over Utah, although I think they had a double overtime game in their first game. All right, quarterfinals, Arizona State. Arizona should win that one comfortably, but you never know. You never know. They lost to Colorado not too long ago. I was bamboozled by that. I thought, what the hell? Are you kidding me? They lost by 16. They only scored 63 points. What in the world? All right, 4 Colorado, 5 Oregon. They both beat each other. Like, basically, when that team was on the road, that road team won, basically. On a neutral floor, I have more faith in Oregon. It's kind of hard to say that because they looked absolutely terrible against Washington State on Saturday. 2 UCLA versus 7 Washington State. If Johnny Juzang was not healthy, I would pick the upset, but he's back, and I am going with UCLA. I just think UCLA is going to just push that envelope further. USC and Washington, they played once this season. USC only beat it by 10. I'm going to get risky, and I'm going to take 6th seed Washington. I just don't care for USC. They're similar to Providence a lot in terms of close games, but Providence, in my opinion, is actually better than USC. They have more talent, but they're just similar in terms of close games, and I hate teams that do that on a consistent basis. It scares the crap out of me. What else scares the crap out of me is the semifinals matchup between Arizona and Oregon. Now, again, Arizona escaped Oregon a couple weeks ago, 84-81. Oregon, I bet, was pretty pissed after that one. They should have won that game. Arizona knew they escaped. I don't know who to pick here. I almost want to take Oregon. There's going to be a 1 seed that loses at some point in one of these tournaments, and I don't know who which conference it's going to be. I'm still trying to figure that out. Can Oregon get to the Pac-12 final? I'm going to have to take Arizona. I think when it comes down to it, it's hard to go away from what Arizona is capable of, but at the same time, if their guards aren't doing enough, yeah. And I got UCLA over Washington. I just don't think it's going to be close. And I got Arizona versus UCLA in the Pac-12 title game, and I'm actually going to take UCLA to win it. I just think UCLA is beaming, like, for revenge. Like, they're just going to come after it. I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going right after what they want. They're not going to take anything less. They lost pretty early in the tournament last year to Oregon State. I think they're coming after it this year, so I think the Bruins will win the Pac-12 title for the first time in I don't know how long. It's been a while. But I think it's been since 2014, actually. I was just looking it up. But that was it for my Pac-12 title or Pac-12 tournament predictions. Sorry about that. It is pretty late. You guys will see 4 videos later on in this Monday when I record the AAC, SEC, Mountain West, and Big East. And then Tuesday, I'm going to be recording Big 12 and Big 10 on Tuesday night. I cannot wait for you guys to see those videos. Let's keep it going. I'll see you guys again later. Take care.